everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, My First Season. My name is Greg. Very special guest today. We have never worked together before, but as we just found out, we kept literally missing each other all over the continent and different continents. Her first season was in the 92-93 season in Punta Cana. She was a fitness G.O. She is from Vancouver, originally from Ontario, London, Ontario, but now living in Vancouver. She started in the 92. She did her last season in 2000. So without further ado, please help me give a warm welcome to Shelley Markevich Lawrence. Hey, Shelley, how are you?
Hey, hands up, baby. Hands up. Hey,
oh,
hey,
nice.
Greg.
Thank you. You brought your own music. Cool.
Yeah.
It was a song everyone knows, so that's good.
Singer.
Me too.
I only got to do playback lip syncs with Club Med.
I know. I would give anything. If I had one talent in the world, that I always say I'd like to be a singer. Like if I could magically have a talent, yeah, it would be a singer for sure. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Thank you. Yeah, well, so we realized we have 94 mutual friends, but just somehow kept missing each other, and mostly Columbus Isle. but your first season was Punta Cana. But I'd like you to take me back a bit further to where you were living, what were you doing, and how'd you find out about Club Med?
Oh, sure. Oh my gosh. Being from Ontario, kind of like Quebec, there were like always commercials, always spots on TV, about Club Med, and billboards. And I totally remember the huge billboard in London, Ontario, where one half of the billboard was like a snowstorm, and the other half of the
can I ask you about that? Yeah, that one in particular. Do you remember that commercial where it was just a guy trying to walk into a snowstorm, like the wind was pushing him back, and it hung on him, and it said, "Can you imagine 1 week?" And then the Club Med. Did you ever see that one? Because that's the one that got me every winter.
Yeah,
drove me crazy.
Always, and I was
curious,
right?
Yeah.
And I was such a Love Boat fan of the show and Fantasy Island. And short of the long, I was engaged to be married, and I canceled everything. I was at this is when Via Rail, when you would go to a travel agency to pick up Via Rail ticket, and my friend had to pick up some Via Rail tickets, and there were all these brochures on Club Med. And I had just canceled the wedding, like I had the dress and all, kind of like the runaway bride scene.
Wow. Yeah.
And I know, but that's okay. All is good, because I'm looking at all of these brochures of Club Med. And I looked at my friend and I'm like, I always wanted to work at a Club Med. And she was like, send in your CV, see what happens. And so I totally sent in my CV.
Okay, now wait, one question, because it was even hard for me in 94. So how did you find out where to send it in 92?
I sent it to, I don't know if I sent it to the Miami office.
Okay, so you found out where the office was and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really a resourceful person. I even asked the person at the travel place.
Okay.
And maybe she gave me the Miami office address. So I totally remember putting it in one of those old manila envelopes and sending it off. And I got a call from, I think his name was like Bobo or Boo Boo.
Okay.
Something like that from Miami office, saying that they were going to conduct interviews. And I think, if memory serves me right, the only Canadian interviews at that time were in Montreal.
Yes. And did you drive down?
I didn't. I'm one of these people who I end up staying friends with people who I end up breaking up with. So my ex, they actually
so the opposite of me. Yeah, the opposite of me. Okay, go on. Okay.
He actually drove me to Montreal for my interview.
No, really? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You must have been some singer. Okay. Okay. Okay, so he drove you. All right. Now, did you wait long? Like from the time you mailed, did you just mail one CV?
I did.
Oh my God.
I just mailed one. And back in the day, they wanted you to send photos.
Yes.
So I sent photos with my CV.
Okay. And you got a call about how long after you mailed it? Do you remember?
I think, I want to say maybe it was in the spring.
So a couple of months?
Maybe it was the fall, so maybe a few months.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this kind gentleman drives you to Montreal. Were you was it in a hotel? Do you recall?
It
Or,
was in a hotel, and the person who was conducting the interview was Kevin Batt.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and he brought a team with him. So there were, I think it was Kevin Batt and 3 other GOs. I think some were ex-GOs and some were still GOs. And he had a very savvy setup where he did like a prelim in a room with all of us and just gave everyone the nuts and bolts of what Club Med was truly all about. He didn't hide anything. And then he was like, if you still want to proceed with the interview, great. And if you don't want to, you're more than welcome to leave.
So what was scaring people off, the 7 days a week thing? And
I think it was the 7 days a week, because as you know, we work hard, we play hard.
Yes.
And it's not for everyone, because it was 7 days a week. And it was for fitness GOs, we do a lot.
Well, were you working as an aerobics instructor in London, Ontario? Like, was that your background? Okay.
It is.
Were you doing step? Was it step back then? Was that the popular?
I was a fitness instructor my whole adult life. I started when I was 17, many moons ago.
Really? So you did water aerobics at a young age, I'm guessing.
Everything, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I know. Yeah. So he did the whole prelim. So he did like this huge prelim with all of us, and then we had to do a demo. So he gave us sections of a class to demo, and then after that we did one-on-one with either he or his other GOs that he brought. So I had like this awesome time with this GO, and then next thing I know,
do you mean you did a fitness demo? Is that what you're saying?
We all did fitness demos.
Did you bring a change of clothes, or did they not tell you? Oh, okay. Okay, yep. Got it.
We did, totally. So we did that. And then I did a one-on-one, and it wasn't with Kevin Batt, it was with one of his friends, one of his GO friends. So did the one-on-one, and then came back home. So I think it was in the fall. Then came back to Ontario. I was working for a racket club at the time in London, Ontario. And my roommate at the time gave me a phone call at work singing the Club Med song, because she had done Club Med vacations. And I was a receptionist that day at the club, at the racket club. My GM was in his office, and he heard my excitement, went running to his office, and he's like, I know, I heard you got the job.
It's funny you said instead of general manager, you said GM. So that was pretty.
I know, right?
Pretty cool.
My general manager.
Yeah. So there was a sign. That was a sign right there.
Right? Yeah. So next thing I knew it, I was flying out to Punta Cana, Republica Dominica.
Had you ever been there before?
Never.
Had you ever been to a resort before on vacation?
Never.
Wow. Okay. So do you recall that first week when you arrived? Like what you were going through and feeling? Was it all too much? Hard to take in?
Oh my God, no, it was awesome.
Okay.
It was awesome. My chef de village was Howard McCarly. Yeah, he had pioneered the IGO, the integration GO for Club Med. So I also did that for him once that.
I've heard of this. Yeah, I have to take issue with this, because I've heard of this position. In 10 years, I never ran across one. So I think it's a great idea. I wish there were some at my time. Yeah, I could have used.
Yeah.
One.
So we had that actually implemented in the village. So as soon as I arrived, your godfather, the godfather, godmother or godfather, he meets up with you, and he's right there as soon as you arrive and takes you under his wing. And my IGO, even though it wasn't implemented and executed with Miami at that time, Howard did have that, as I shared with you, set up in the village. And my integration GO was a gentleman from Montreal, Quebec, wonderful man, Danny, who we remained friends with as well. And actually, he was one of my husband's best men when we got married at Club Med.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So it was a pretty cool setup. And I totally remember arriving in Punta. I was with GOs who I'm still friends with to this day. And one of them, it was a cute, funny story, if I may share.
Sure, please.
Martin, we're at the airport, and it was the airport that I believe that, what's his name? The singer who lives just outside of Punta Cana.
Oh, his name escapes me, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's his airport.
Yeah.
And so we arrive there and we pack all our things up on the shuttle, take the shuttle to Punta Cana. And this one dude just stood there really loud going, "Oh man, I forgot my luggage at the airport."
Okay.
So we phoned him Spicoli.
Okay. Wait, what? Okay. So you mean he forgot his luggage in
He did. He
Miami?
totally forgot.
Like where was the plane coming in?
No, the one in Punta Cana, just
Oh,
outside Punta Cana.
oh, okay.
And
Oh, you mean he got the resort and went, whoops, I forgot my.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So we
Spicoli. Okay.
totally AKA'd him, coined him.
Okay.
His whole career with Club Med was never Martin. It was always
Okay.
Spicoli. And when we get together, we still call him
All right.
Spicoli.
And when you went back to get it, the bomb sniffing dogs were probably surrounding it and whatnot, right? Because
Right?
even back then you couldn't just
Sure.
leave luggage in an airport, I'm guessing. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that was kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, and my first night at Club Med, we arrived in the evening, and I didn't meet my husband there because he was at the arrival, and he was jumping around all over the place because he was like, "I hear there's a bartender here. I hear one of them with the bartenders. Are you a bartender?" And I said, "No, I'm the fitness G.O." And then this lady said, "Oh, I'm the bartender." Her name was Tara, and she actually ended up becoming my roommate in Punta Cana as well.
Wait, wait, it's just a sec, Shelley. Are you saying you met your future husband in your first season?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went there to party, have a good time, and then boom, you meet Mr. Right in the first week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But in my mind, I wasn't even thinking party with Club Med. I was just like so in awe that I'm like a fitness instructor at a beach and palm trees. And like, as soon as we arrived, even though it was nighttime, I looked at Tara and I said, "We are running to a jetty. I know I'm not going to be able to see the sea, but I just want to hear it." So we did. You know that restaurant in Punta Cana? I think it was called the La Hispaniola restaurant. It was like one of the annex restaurants.
Yeah.
So they had like a jetty there, like a dock.
Mm-hmm.
So we did, like, she totally took me there and we ran there and just listened to the sea, listened to the waves crashing. And I was like, ah. And then that night we even went to the El Barrio.
What's that?
The El Barrio is a sidekick, not like a, I can't say pub, like local canteen. It's right outside the village.
Okay.
You take this pathway and you go to this bar and you have those El Presidentes, those huge cerveza beers. And I totally remember my husband, Michael, at the time going, "Now be really, really careful, because if you're wearing red, the bulls are attracted to red and they'll come out and you may be attacked by a bull."
Okay.
And I looked down and I'm like,
wait a minute. Okay. Are you saying there were wild bulls outside the Club Med? First, that's my first question. Okay.
Right?
Secondly, I thought it was the waving of the cape that drove him crazy, not the actual color red.
But I'm a gullible chica from London, Ontario.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I look down and I'm in cowboy boots, blue jeans, and a red bodysuit. And I'm like, so then G.O.'s like G.A., which everyone knows G.A. She's like, "Oh my God, Shelley, there are no freaking bulls here."
Okay. Oh, G.A. was there. G.A. there was 2 your season?
Yeah, G.A. was at my first village. I had G.A., I had Rob Ness, Paul Roberts, God, Mika. Oh God, I have to remember all these names. Like, all these
remember
people.
them all, but was okay. One question was it designation? Was it family? Was it singles, adults? What was
family,
in 92?
family.
Okay, so it was family in 92. Okay, got it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and did you have problems adjusting to this 7-day work week? 12, 13 hours? No. Okay.
No, not at all.
Oh, you were young. You were young, right? It probably was like nothing.
Actually, I started at Club Med, believe it or not. I was married before and I have a son, and I started Club Med when I was 29, 30 years old. So my son did come to Club Med villages on his break. The only village he didn't experience was Australia.
Okay. Wow. What a story. Okay.
Yeah.
So since you arrived around November, do you recall what it was like working your first Christmas and New Year's? Did you miss home at all, or were you just like having fun during the holidays?
No, you are heartbroken, absolutely. But then your G.O family kicks in. the team is a true team. They're not a team, they're family. And they know that we're all in this situation. So they are very there for each other. And we're very, very much there for each other. And as you know, Christmas Day is a crazy busy day. And because it is so crazy busy, you kind of are distracted as well of those emotions. So you can detach because it is such a crazy busy day in a village.
Yeah, because you're doing all the work, and then when the guests are eating, you're putting presents in the room. Now, I'm assuming you did all the shows, right? Like
All of them.
I'm getting a sense of this. So you were a good dancer then already. You came already.
I had dance experience from when I was a kid, but not a lot.
What kind of dance?
I took like jazz. When I was a kid, I took some jazz. I took a baton.
Oh, okay. Yes, did you bring it with you to Punta Cana?
No,
I didn't. Darn. Okay.
No, I didn't. I know, but I did, and I'm a proud baton twirler. Yes, even though I know Canadians laugh at that because, like in the States, you can get scholarships for twirling.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm a proud baton twirler.
I think you only need to maintain a 2.5 GPA too.
Right. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I had amazing choreographers. I totally remember my choreographer from Watuco, Kelly, totally took me under her wing. And she's like, don't worry, I'm going to guide you. We are going to do lesson after lesson after lesson. And that's when my second season is when I really got into doing the shows and really learning dance like no tomorrow from Kelly.
Okay. Now, getting back to Howard McCarly, you said he was your first chief, right? Mm-hmm. So those of us who've never worked with Howard always hear the story. So I want you to true or false this. So is it true that maybe I don't know when he started this, but did he go up and down like the beach and whatnot and look for cigarette butts or any kind of trash and throw them away? Did you?
Yes, he did not like garbage in his village at all.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I never met him. I mean, everyone talks well about him, but it's just that one thing because my first season, we got punished with something called Operation Howard McCarly. So, the chief, I guess he felt the GOs were slacking. So he had everyone go up really early to the beach, 6:30 or 7. The scuba team didn't have to because we're up that early anyway. And he formed a line and everyone had to. He explained to us what Operation Howard McCarly was, and they had bags, and everyone had to go up in a line and pick up cigarette butts out of them. So ever since then, I've been kind of fascinated with this gentleman. Okay. Oh my
gosh! Yes.
What were the crazy signs like back in '92? Do you remember them? Do you have a favorite one?
I'm one of the crazy GOs. I love crazy signs. I do, totally.
Oh God.
We did a lot of the hands up, of course. We did a lot of the electric slide. And then of course the French ones, where you like tap your head, tap your tush.
Oh yeah. Well, it was someone else's tush, wasn't it? Tush. Maybe not now in the new climate, but yeah, back then.
Oh my gosh.
Did you speak French? Did you pick it up?
No, not at all. I took French. Being from Ontario, we did have French in our school system, but it was kind of like off and on. Maybe the public school system kept it as a program, but I went to Catholic schooling and sometimes we would have it, some years we wouldn't. So it was kind of like off and on, off and on. So my French wasn't very good, but I did learn totally how to teach French in my fitness classes completely. I could do like the body parts, I could count, all of that, completely bilingual.
Okay.
Wow. I did learn that at Club Med. Yes, I learned a lot. Club Med was like my university.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely say that. Right? So you don't sound like you're an introvert, Shelley. So I'm guessing when you had to eat meals 3 times a day with guests, that was no problem for you as well, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Very extroverted and
yes,
you can talk about anything and small talk anyone. Okay.
Yes, loved it. Loved it. Yes, loved the round tables.
Yes. And back then they still had hostesses, right? That would place you,
yes,
correct? Okay.
They did.
Now, did you ever, like when you were looking around when you were a fitness land sport, was there another job you wanted to do or you were happy staying where you were that first season?
No, I did. I thought it'd be really cool being like hostess or reception. So that's what I was hired for at Lindeman, Australia.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll get to Lindeman in a sec because I'm definitely going to talk to you about Lindeman. Do you have any, was there any other funny stories from your first season that you recall? If not, we can go to later seasons. But if there's something funny that happened your first season, I think I'd like to hear it. If you,
I totally remember my first week because my first week was contracted out to Atlantis.
Oh, okay. You see, I
Uh-huh.
never got to do a week with Atlantis. So for maybe you can tell our listeners that don't know what Atlantis is, if you could tell them.
Atlantis is a gay travel group, and what they do is they contract out resorts or cruise ships, and they come in with their travel company called Atlantis, all their own shows, music, comedians, everything. And gay people from all over the world, from my understanding, I don't think it's just from Canada and the States. I think I could be wrong, but I think they come from all over the world, and they're at Club Med for a week. That was my first experience with Club Med. It was no longer Club Med, it was Atlantis slash Club Med, if that makes sense. And it was amazing. So you're with all these gay men, and my fitness classes were crazy busy. It was crazy busy. It was awesome. And like it was hardcore fitness. I just loved it. They taught me lots of steps too. And there was a gentleman from New York who worked for a company called Dynamix. So he had all these, this was back in the day when fitness instructors had to use CDs. So he had all these CDs that he left with me, which was amazing. The nightclub was amazing. I could like dance the night away with all these gay men and never feel nervous or afraid. Like it was an incredible week. The entertainment, there was this comedian and he's like, is it okay if I use you in the show tonight? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, because I'm going to say some things about you. And are you okay with it? I'm like, absolutely. And he goes, oh, and here's Shelley, the little fitness G.O, standing at our arrival. And every time a man went by, her jaw would drop and just go, darn, what a bummer. He's gay. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was saying that. Absolutely. Men were gorgeous. I think even like Calvin Klein models were there. There were like football players there, and these guys were gorgeous. Oh my God. And there was this lady who was singing. She was doing like Liza Minnelli. And I was just sitting there in the audience just going, oh my God, his voice is just amazing. It's just like Liza Minnelli. And the Geos were looking at me like, oh my God, Shelley, you're so gullible. It's a friggin' playback.
Okay. Damn it. It wasn't really Liza.
No.
Okay.
But it was such a fun, crazy week. So I totally remember, because you know how GOs, we do a briefing every week. And I totally remember Howard McCarly going to our first briefing after Atlantis had left and just was like, okay, what a week. That's over. And just so you know, if this is your first village, you'll never experience a week like that again. Now
Oh,
to the real Club Med.
well, please tell me at least one time it was appropriate that YMCA Crazy Sign was on heavy rotation that week.
Oh my
Please
God,
tell me this.
always.
Okay.
Yeah, we always did that. And there was
Okay.
always, when you do the shows at the nightclub,
Yes.
always, always. And
Okay,
actually my
good.
husband was in that. I think the whole sailing team was the YMCA dudes.
Oh, okay.
And they always did that as a play in the nightclub.
Oh, right. Cool. Wow.
Yeah,
And
fun.
so roughly like how long were you at Punta Cana? Were you there? You were there like a season, so like roughly 6 months?
No, we always did 2 seasons in a village, always.
Okay. So
Yes,
you left probably then right at the end of I'm guessing 93 then?
yes,
Okay. Now, did they give you like a dream sheet to fill out for your
they
second
did.
season? Okay. What did you
They
put
gave
on
us a
it? Do
dream
you remember?
sheet. Absolutely.
Did you put
I think the
Watuco's
first
number one?
village was Watuco, yeah.
Why'd you want to go there?
It just looked really cool. It just looked like such an amazing
Was it
village.
singles back then? Because I had someone else
No
on the
family.
it was family. Okay.
Yeah, I've never worked a singles village.
That's strange, no?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess because I was in couple, I guess. I don't know.
In couple. I haven't heard
I
that
guess.
expression in a while. We don't say it in the real world, right? Everybody say I'm a couple.
Right?
I mean, is that your
Yeah,
boyfriend? Oh yeah, we're in couple.
yeah. I still use the term couple. I do.
Okay.
There's a lot of things on Club Med I just can't shake off.
Yeah, I think Gwyneth Paltrow stole that from us when she separated with Chris Martin. I think she called it
Oh, did she?
conscious uncoupling. I think she called it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. That's hilarious. Uh,
All right. So okay. So you go to Watuco.
mhm.
You go to Paradise Island. Now, did any of your jobs change like during these seasons, like at Columbus, or you stayed mainly in fitness?
Mainly in fitness. I did do at Columbus, I think for a few weeks, scuba.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Sorry, snorkeling,
Snorkeling.
snorkeling.
Okay.
Yes, snorkeling.
Snorkeling with the picnic or just snorkeling?
Just snorkeling. I was never at a Club Med picnic until, oh my gosh, I want to say Eleuthera
Okay.
was my only picnic experience.
Did you find when you got to Columbus, like, were you shocked at how nice the G.O rooms were and how beautiful the
Oh my
resort was?
gosh, right?
Yeah.
I know we had like a TV in there.
Yeah,
We
I
had a
know.
phone in there. It was like, is this Club Med? What the hey?
Big shower where you could actually turn
I
around in,
know,
you know? Okay.
right? Yes, no, very nice quarters.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, they sent me there 3 times, but I always say it's the most beautiful. Yeah, you had like
Absolutely.
1 million in artwork just strewn throughout the village.
Oh my gosh,
The beach was just Club Med
gorgeous,
people on the beach because the
right?
Bahamians didn't
Well,
go to the beach.
I think one of the Trigonos, or maybe both of their wives, were always the decorators for all the Club Meds.
Especially
And
that one, yes.
that one, yes,
Yeah.
they actually even, I think they came.
Yeah,
That,
I've counted
yeah.
them a few times.
Yes, and she shared the stories about how much fun just finding all of the materials that she brought into that village. Just amazing, gorgeous, gorgeous village.
When I was there in '96 with Patricia Moretti, one of the GMs complained about one of the Trigonos because she didn't know who it was, but she said that man always gets up early and puts his towel on the thing. You're not supposed to do that. And my chief started laughing, like, she says, "Do you know who that is?" Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, because she didn't want to get up early to do it, reserve it. But you know how people would just go to the pool at 6 a.m.,
Oh
right,
yeah.
and put out their towel. So,
Oh yeah. I've got funny stories like that.
oh, you do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I totally remember that. Actually, I think it was in Watuco, where a GM would put out his towel every morning and then go for breakfast. And I think they were like New Yorkers, and New Yorkers are very, very passionate about their real estate. When he came back from breakfast, there was another person there and who took over the spot. And he was like, "That's mine." And he's like, "Well, no one's here. Like I came here and no one was there." And he's like, "This was my spot. It's been my spot all week." And it was like, whoa, like someone's very passionate about their sand real estate.
Yes.
It
Goes
was
for a lot of
crazy.
money.
Right? Yes,
Right.
yes.
So you mentioned Lindeman, which I was there in 2000. You were there before me. So how did you get to Lindeman? Being
I
like, because
think
of
it was,
North American Geo, like
yeah,
I
I
know how I got there
know,
and was under different
right?
circumstances. So how did you get there?
Yeah. Well, if it's okay to share, it was
As
from
long as
someone
it's
from
appropriate,
Paris.
you can share it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, it was actually someone from Paris who was at Club Med, and they were doing this whole meet and greet with all the chef, all the responsables and chefs of Akit. And it was Philippe Bourguignon actually who said, is there any place that you would think of going? And I never shared this with my husband at the time, but I dated a tennis pro from Australia once upon a time who worked at a racket club in London. And I was like, I always wanted to go to Australia. I'll say Australia. And next thing I knew it, we were going to Australia.
Wait, so you had a one-on-one conversation with Philippe Bourguignon, I think the president at the
Yeah,
time, and he said, "Where you want to go?" And you said
yeah.
Australia.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, wow. Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I guess that could happen. That's so.
Yeah.
Well,
So we did.
that's a pretty good ask because, and not only
Yeah.
that, you had probably one of the most popular, crazy. I mean, I've never met. I think I only met Kenton once, but it was after he was a chief of village. So there's so many Kenton stories out there. So,
Yeah.
so you definitely did. You have a good time? Because I had the best time of my life in Australia. I thought this was
Yeah. Oh my
crazy.
God.
The
You know,
Aussies
I,
and Kiwis are the only
right?
guests there. There's no
Oh,
Europeans.
yeah.
They don't
No,
care when it rains as long as the bar's
no,
open. So it was
no,
a whole new
no.
world, right? Like,
Totally. They are like happy, fun, loving, friggin' people. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
that's right.
Oh my God. Kiwi, always happy. You always notice a Kiwi because they're always smiling.
Well, it took me 6 months to differentiate the accent. Like it took 6 months for
Yeah.
me to tell the difference between
Yeah.
an Aussie and a Kiwi, but I love them
Yeah.
all. I mean,
Yeah.
what were
Absolutely.
you doing fitness also in
No, actually, I started actually as reception hostess,
okay, so
and
you were on the top of the hill there.
And then I really, really missed being on the sports team. And it really hit me where I don't know when you were there, if the sports teams always did their briefing. Remember where the bar was and you went go up the stairs to that
Yeah.
room? And the
Yeah.
briefings were always in that room.
Well,
And I
yeah.
totally remember sitting at the hostess desk and watching the whole sports team go up the stairs. And I was just like, that's my team. I need to be back with my team. So I approached Kenton and I'm like, you know what? I like doing the the reception hostess, but I really miss being on the sports team. And it was kind of tough because he was with the Fitness G.O at the time. But as soon as that Fitness G.O left, I got proposed and moved into fitness right away and was back on the sports team.
Were you there a year?
No, we had to leave because
What?
Michael's a family member wasn't doing very well health-wise. So
Okay.
we unfortunately came back to Canada. And I think we came back to Canada in May.
Okay, so you didn't get to stay the full year because
No,
normally if you did go there, you'd have to stay a year because it's
absolutely.
very
Which is
expensive to
really
fly
too
you.
bad. I know, because I really wanted to. And I also wanted to experience the other villages over there in the Asian zone, like the Bali, Thailand,
Yeah.
but unfortunately did have to come back home. So we did.
Did you ever climb up to Mount Orford, the big tall mountain on the island? Did you ever go up there?
No, not at all.
Did you
That
get to
would have
take a
been
plane at
cool.
all anywhere
We
to
did. Took
Mackay
that
or
plane to
to Airlie
Vegas.
Beach?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely did. Love taking that. I love that. That was like such a cool experience because you go over to the landing strip, you pick up the air taxi phone and plane comes in, the plane that's built in Canada. I think they're called like Beaver plane or something like that. Comes in and picks you up and takes you over to the mainland. And we also did what's the one of the seven wonders?
Great Barrier
Um,
Reef or
yeah,
natural wonders, I guess.
we did the natural wonder. We took the and to the barrier reef.
Yeah,
Incredible.
well, the planes when I was there in 2000, you could actually order food. Like the pilot, they would deliver like
Oh
Domino's would
my
deliver
God.
the pizza to the hub
That's
there,
so
and then the
funny.
pilot who was coming in anyway with guests would,
Yeah.
so you'd be
Oh
waiting
my
up
God,
there
that
with
is
your
awesome.
cash on the airstrip, waiting for your pizza by
That
plane.
is so funny. That's so cool. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful piece of the world. It was so cool. Like, do you remember when the butterflies would migrate?
Yes. Yeah.
Tiger butterflies,
Yeah.
like the blue monarch, but amazing,
Well, for me, it was seeing those sulfur crested cockatoos like littered all over the trees because I've
right?
only seen them in cages. So to
I
see
know.
them in the
Yes.
wild was,
Yes. Yes.
and
Well, I
I,
would do power walks into the rainforest with the GMs every morning, and that was incredible seeing the cockatoos, seeing the fruit bats.
oh
The
God,
fruit
yeah, by
bats,
archery, yeah, they creeped me out. They were
right?
so
Yeah,
big. Oh,
they're huge. They were like big little big teddy
oh,
bears.
well, I don't
They
know
were
about
really
teddy bears,
cute.
Shelley. They
And when they would open up their wings and their little
yeah,
babies
yeah.
being
As you're
tucked
walking through
under,
that, I still remember that little
right?
plank nature walk by
Yeah.
archery. I just felt they were going to attack us at any second, like they could easily could if they wanted to,
No, no.
swarm, and then
Oh
there's
my
nothing you
God.
could do but curl in a
Yeah,
ball and
right.
die.
Or at
Okay,
nighttime, at
I
nighttime when they would fly over
oh
and
yeah,
you go back into the rainforest, they would look like the monkeys from the Wizard of
yes,
Oz.
yeah, exactly.
It's like so funny. And how about those huge, they were like huge iguanas there
Yeah, yeah.
that were like in the forest
Well, they had a
also.
pretty, you probably recall the pretty drastic high and low tide that Lindeman had because at
Yeah,
sailing, sailing
absolutely.
we did sailing by the high and low tide. So, when it was out, there was no
Yes.
sailing, right? Because there was rocks
Yeah. Oh yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. And the crazy jellyfish that were in there.
Yeah.
And we
Oh,
would
yeah.
say to the
Box.
GM, do not go in because the jellyfish were in there. And I totally remember this GM going in there and he came out and he just looked like he was whipped like no tomorrow on
Well,
his back.
when I got there, I remember all the Aussies telling me, Greg, it rained last night. I know you're going to want to, but don't lick the toads. Okay.
Oh, I know, right?
I said, what are you talking about? It never occurred to me. No, they secrete a toxin. People get, I said, I was
Yeah.
never going to lick a toad. No, we're serious, Greg. Don't do it.
Yeah.
See, now I want to do it. Okay.
I know, no, 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 no. They're the sugar cane toads, the sugar
Yeah.
cane
Yeah.
toads.
Oh, yeah. The sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
like,
totally remember when we would go to our quarters because there would be like on the step, and I'd go look at them and just go, you know what? You can have this step. I'll turn around, I'll go back and have a drink, and then I'll come back in a bit, and hopefully you're gone. This is your
yeah,
death.
I'm just going to lick your back 3 times and that's it. I promise. Okay. I'll put you
Exactly.
down. Yeah. No one has to know. Okay.
No, exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes.
All right. Now, after Lindeman, you probably went to one of the, actually, I hear everyone talk about this village. I've never been, but they tell how beautiful Eleuthera was. So Eleuthera was your last season,
Yeah,
correct? And is as
absolutely.
beautiful as everyone says?
It is just amazing. And that's the cool thing about the Bahamas, that their beaches are so diverse and the sand there is pink. It's like just an incredible village. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yes.
And
Yeah, just gorgeous.
were you back on the sports team there?
I was.
Okay.
Yes.
And were you, how long was your last season? Was it 6 months or
2 seasons.
2 seasons? Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, on any of those seasons, did you meet any celebrities that came by your
Yes,
villages?
celebrities do come in into Med, absolutely. Yes.
While meeting anyone? Any athletes,
I
singers?
do. I do. I think the one that really sticks out is someone who we all know now, but at the time none of us really did, because let's face it, GOs, we weren't really didn't have TVs until Columbus Isle. So I totally remember this celebrity coming in with her first husband and entourage, because she was doing a spread for Shape magazine, which is kind of like a fitness magazine.
Mhm.
And I remember my chef de village coming up saying, "Do you know a person by the name of Jennifer Lopez?"
Was this in Columbus?
It was.
You were there in 97 then, yeah.
Okay. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Ugh.
I'm sorry, I do not know that name.
She was on her honeymoon there too.
And was it her honeymoon? Because I
Yeah,
know she was there with her first husband and was with all these New
yeah,
Yorkers.
yeah.
And
It
they
was her
had
first husband.
cameras and she was doing a photo shoot, and she came back. Actually, she came there twice.
Oh,
um
twice. Oh God. The one
she was
time
there
they don't send
twice,
me to Columbus, she comes twice. Arr, okay.
twice,
So
twice.
unfair. No, so
And
unfair.
she even came into my water fitness class.
No. Oh, okay, I'm gonna be sick now.
Yes.
You know how many times I did water aerobics in Columbus and I never had a Jennifer Lopez in my class.
Yes,
Oh.
J-Lo was there. So like being back in the acting world, I just think it would be the coolest thing. If I ever did a show, like if I ever did anything with her, I wouldn't say at the time, but I would probably share like my last day, just go, just so you know, I was a GO when you came into my water fitness class.
Do you have a favorite Jennifer Lopez movie?
I think
Did you
like
see Selena? Selena? She
I
was
have
very good
seen
in that.
Selena a few
Yeah.
times. Great story. And of course, I saw this after my Club Med experience. I do watch every movie that she does come out with. I just saw her on The Voice. She just sang a Christmas song on The Voice. I know she's back with Ben.
Yeah.
So I guess like I do like the show, that the movie that they did together, because I think it's kind of cute that that's how they met.
Geely?
But I also really, really like the movie, like the Maid movie that she did. I also really like the movie that she just did, which is a true story on exotic dancers. I think that was called Hustlers or something like
Hustlers.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's an actor actually who's acts here on a show called Riverdale, and she plays Betty, and she was in the show and
Yes.
the movie with her, and she did such a great job. That girl's gonna go places.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Betty. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know why her name's escaping me now. Shame on
It's
me,
really
Greg, but
good.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, but I
Oh.
just think like when I watched the Super Bowl when J-Lo did the
Oh, her and Shakira.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I think that was an incredible show.
Yeah, no, it was the best one. And
I totally agree.
I
That
think the men
was
didn't
an
go to the
amazing.
bathroom at halftime. They're like, I think I'll stay a bit
No,
more here.
absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that's what I love about J-Lo is that she's a GO. She's like a GO. She does it all. She works hard
Yes.
and she
Oh,
loves every moment of it.
well, she's like a Geo, but with $1 billion. So, but
I
yeah, yeah,
know.
but
Yeah.
yeah, no, but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't begrudge her
Yeah.
anything. I love her. She's,
Yes.
I have
Me too.
my story. If I run into her was I did one season in Turkey where I am.
Oh,
I bought a laptop. I just bought it to play a DVD. So this would have been 2001. I bought her DVD of all her greatest hits, and I didn't know what else to do. I had no music, so when everyone came over, I would put her DVD of videos on, waiting for tonight and all that.
yeah.
Struck out every single time with the J-Lo DVD. So that's my story. I'm going to tell her if I ever run into her. It never
Yeah.
worked. Wasn't mood music, but I still love her. Okay. I love you,
Sorry.
J-Lo.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No,
So,
totally.
so how did you know when it was time to leave, or you just felt, you know what, I did a lot of years in Club Med. Is it like, was it an easy choice for you, or did you
No,
struggle with it?
yeah, it was kind of, it was when Geo and when Club Med was going through the transition of the Trigonos being asked to take early retirement, and us going with Philip Bourguignon, actually, I think he resigned then, and then another company came in, I think Fiat. And so Michael and I are like, so what do you want to do? And so part of us, we wanted to stay, but another part was like, well, maybe this is a sign for us to do the next chapter of our life. And thus we made the decision. And we're both from Ontario. He's from Thunder Bay. I'm from London. But we worked with some Vancouverites that said, you know what? The only place we could see you is Vancouver. And maybe because Vancouver is a beautiful place with beautiful beaches, I don't know. So that's what we did. And we settled in White Rock, British Columbia.
Well, like you mentioned Riverdale, they shoot a lot of shows in
Oh
Vancouver,
my
right?
God.
Like
Yes,
the
after
CW,
COVID,
I think the CW shoots everything there, right?
huge, 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 huge. And because of COVID, I think we even opened up before LA. So from my understanding, we have so many huge studios. We're building so many more studios. I think Netflix is building or built a huge studio here. There's a studio called Bridge Studios. They did a huge expansion. We do so many. We're like, we are Hollywood North. We definitely are.
Do you do some acting now?
I do. I do. I took the faith of leap on leap year day, February 29th, a month before the COVID lockdown. I was working in the retirement industry full time, teaching fitness for seniors. Got back into the acting world because I had missed it so much, and my friends were getting tired of me always whining about it and said, would you just go back into that world? So I did. I got a continuity gig on The Stand as a backgrounder continuity and loved it so much. Left my full-time job February 29th to pursue my acting passion. And then we had the lockdown. So my last day on set was like March 13th, March 14th, and went into lockdown. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I got on the computer right away and I looked for a job in a retirement community as a screener. And
Okay.
then as soon as we got crazy busy here again, I just went full force into doing background work, stand-in work, doing lots of auditions. Auditions are primarily self-tape now. They were, I guess, in LA, always self-tape for the past decade, but for us in Vancouver, pretty new. So I do lots of self-tape auditions. I haven't really gotten anything yet, but that's okay. Because I know J-Lo had shared stories that she did thousands of auditions before getting her first gig.
She was a
So
fly girl on In Living
I
Color.
know, with
Yeah,
a Canadian with Jim Carrey's show.
that's right.
Yeah.
Did you said the Stand? That's the Stephen King TV show, The
Mhm.
Stand?
It was,
So is
yeah. But it was,
Alexander Skarsgård is good looking in real
yes,
life?
he
Is he
was
it?
there.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
there. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
And I totally overheard, like they had a couple of directors, and the one director who came in was amazing. So he met every one of us face to face, shook our hand, said our name, asked what did you want to do? And I overheard him say where the hero table was going to be, because we were in this place where it was like a casino. We were like the bad people. We just
okay.
party all day. So I overheard him say to someone, this is going to be the hero table. So he asked me, he's like, so Shelley, where do you want to be? And I'm like, I want to be at the hero table. So I got to be at the hero table, which was amazing. And the hero table means you're with stunt people, the actors are crossing by you. I met other stand-in, other background actors, and we all had the best time on Stephen King's The Stand, and we all shared the most amazing stories from that. I think we were on it for like 6 weeks, and wow, what an experience.
Wow, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yes,
And The Stand, I think you can see on Amazon Prime if I'm not
you can. So if
mistaken.
you haven't
Okay.
seen it, check it out.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
And I was
Nice.
even in a court scene and for that also. So if you like zoom in, you'll see me right behind on the principal actors.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but you
Okay.
can zoom my face.
Okay. Hey, everyone's got to start somewhere, right?
Right? Absolutely. Just got to keep at it.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it's been a cool experience being back in the acting world. And I just
Now,
did a standing gig on a show that they do here. Also, I think it's called Firefly Lane.
oh yeah, I've heard of that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was just on that last week. So
Oh,
that was
really?
cool. Yeah,
Okay.
fun.
Cool.
Yes, but just incremental process.
Yeah. I have a question. I don't know if it's a tough question for you because I'm going to ask you to pick your favorite. So, as what I'm more curious about, if you use the word magical. So, were any of your seasons magical? Like, was it your first one because it was your first one and you had so much fun there, or were they all
Yeah,
different or special in their own
yeah,
way?
yeah.
But would you put one above the other?
It's that's is extremely tough just because like people like even when they ask what's the best village to go to, I always say it's like a family. It's like apple and oranges, and apple is good and orange is good. It's what your experience is. But I guess it would be my first season just for the fact that the team that was there, the bulk of us were still all really good friends,
Wow, that's
which was like really
that's
cool.
pretty
Like
good.
when, yeah, like when we get together, like we would get together when I went back to Ontario a few years ago, and like we all got together,
Wow,
which was
that's
really cool.
now. Would
And that was
you?
Howard McCarly's team.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like now, like, would you? Now's the time to like call out if there were chief of villages you clicked with or anyone. Would you like to name the people like that you liked? Like, now's the
Oh my
time
God,
to
again,
because we never you always miss a chance to talk good about someone or mention someone. So now
yeah.
if you like to name your favorite chiefs or whatever or
Oh
people.
my goodness, that's a tough one. That's like saying naming your favorite brother or sister. Because I don't have any bad stories of my chef de village. Like I really adored every single one of them.
Who
I
was your
had
chief in Eleuthera?
I had Eric, I think it was Perno at Watuco. I had Jean-Marie Ferno, I think was PI. Columbus was Yves Morgis, I think was his
Yep,
name.
emojis.
Um, yeah, he was awesome. Like I heard some funky stories about him. The guy was a gem. I had Alan Frison, I think was his name, and Eleuthera, like every single chef de village, I totally learned something from them. And I had a takeaway. I totally had a takeaway and no bad experience. I got to meet Howard McCarly more over the seasons just for the fact that I was honored with the position of being an IGO. So all the IGOs of the American Zone would meet in Miami or Coral Gables for briefings for like a stage for I think excuse me, I think it would be for a few days. And Howard, of course, would be conducting these stages. So, of course, I got to meet up with him more again than any other chef de village. So, yeah, I like them all though. I can't, it's like saying who's your favorite brother or
Okay,
sister.
no, that's fine. No,
Yeah,
I like the fact that you like them
cool.
all. That's
I do.
incredible.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Now, before I let you go, I don't want to let you go without like if did I forget to ask you something? Is there something you want to say
Oh
about
my,
Club
I could
Med?
talk
I
about
mean,
Club
I
Med
don't
all
want
day,
if
all day.
there's a particular story or something. I don't want to let you go without, just making sure that I know, yeah, we definitely can go all day. That's for sure. Seeing how many seasons you did, but is there, if there's something you want to say, like, oh, please tell me now, like I don't let you go without, checking in with you, or did we cover most of it? Did we cover it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No. I know that Steve Riley put together, I don't know if you saw it online, but it was with the COVID time, and it was, we all did like a song together.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that, Lean on Me.
And you want to sing this song now? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't
No?
want to sing. Oh
Oh,
my God,
okay. Okay.
you don't want me singing. Everyone's gonna like not want to listen to
Yeah.
this.
I'm gonna mute our mics. Okay. No. Okay.
See, like fingernails going down.
Okay.
No. I love to sing, but I don't think you might hear me sing. But yeah, I was like so cool that, and he just has this huge experience. I'm saying that your vibe creates your tribe. Steve Riley's
Yes.
says, and it's so true. And I just think it's real interesting because I share this with people that in this world, I'm like, I think like people would say that Club Med wasn't reality. And I'd be like, you know what? I think Club Med is more reality because we were taught all cultures, all styles accept it. We don't just work together, we live together. You may have personality conflicts, but you still put those personality conflicts aside and you still greet each other with a good morning and how are you? We were a team, we were a family. And I wish this world could adopt it.
Wow.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
exactly. Yeah, I've always said that. You've 100% correct.
Yeah. So that's my Christmas wish, my New Year's wish, that everyone behaves like G.O family. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would. Yeah. Yeah. I long for those times, actually. Especially now when I'm looking at snow.
And
Yeah.
I do, like when I do, like when I see something funky that's just not right, I sing the song Hands Up because it just puts me in my perspective of kind of like the four agreements, that I'm so glad I had that experience, that all cultures, all styles accept it.
Well, I could not have
Right?
put it better myself, Shelley.
Cool.
That is amazing. And I really, really want to thank you for coming on and sharing your amazing story for us. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure, and thanks for agreeing to come on and being so amazing. I don't know
Hopefully
what to
we can
say.
do meet one day and not be
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
yeah, exactly. I can't believe that
That is too
we
funny.
missed each other so many times, even in
Right?
Australia of all
I
places.
know.
94
Oh my
mutual
God.
friends. How is that possible?
Right. All right. I just want to say hello to all the Club Med family out there. I love you guys. Bisous, bisous, bisous. Embrace, embrace, embrace. Je t'aime.
Whoa, she just said she loves you. Okay.
I do.
Well, that was Shelley Markevich Lawrence, everyone. Check her out on Facebook. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you all next week. Bye. Say bye,
Bye,
Shelley.
everyone. Bye. Au revoir. A bientôt.